Hi, I'm Dan Bradbury, Chief Product Officer at UpGuard. Thanks for joining our final product update for 2022. And what a year it's turning into for the cybersecurity industry. I'm sure you've heard about some of the recent high-profile attacks. Here in Australia, one of our main telecommunications companies, not one of our customers, suffered a breach which led to personal information of millions of Australians being exposed. These recent attacks only reiterate the importance of maintaining a strong security posture. And at UpGuard, we're always looking for ways to respond to new threats and better protect our customers. Today, I'm excited to tell you about some of the great new features we're launching, including the ability to identify when vulnerabilities are being actively exploited, and an easy way to see what's changed when a vendor updates their answers to a questionnaire. I'll cover some of the features we're working on right now, like grouping your own domains and IPs into separate portfolios and enabling your vendors to answer questionnaires faster by leveraging questionnaires they've completed outside the UpGuard platform. I'll start with the features we're launching today. The first one is Known Exploited Vulnerability, or KEV, reporting. When UpGuard detects that a company is running a particular version of software, we provide information about any vulnerabilities associated with that software. Whether you're assessing a vendor or prioritizing your own remediation activities, it's useful to know not just which vulnerabilities are present, but also which ones are being actively exploited. With KEV reporting, we've integrated threat data published by the US government's CISA to provide up-to-date information about these active exploits. Any vulnerabilities with active exploits are tagged on the main vulnerabilities page, and we notify you whenever new exploits are discovered. The next feature we're launching today is the Questionnaire Changes view. If you're using vendor risk to send security questionnaires, you may know you can send the same questionnaire to a vendor multiple times, for instance, when you're reassessing them, and it gets pre-populated with their previous answers. The vendor then just needs to review these and update anything that's changed. When they submit this updated questionnaire, it's likely you'll want to focus on the answers they've updated. The new Questionnaire Changes view feature makes this easy. With a single click, you get a side-by-side comparison of only the answers that have changed. This saves you reviewing the whole questionnaire and speeds up the process of reassessing vendors. We're in the final stages of testing the Questionnaire Changes view and expect it to be released in the next few weeks. Another feature we're launching today is an enhancement to the risk assessment workflow, which we've been gradually refining over the last year or so. If you haven't seen it, the risk assessment workflow provides a step-by-step guide for assessing vendors. First, you choose the evidence you're going to base the assessment on. This can include sending a questionnaire if you need to. Then you review the risks and work with the vendor to remediate any you're not willing to accept. And finally, you capture any notes or write a more formal report and set a date for reassessing the vendor. Using this feature also provides an audit trail of your assessment activities, everything from when the assessment occurred to who conducted it, the evidence reviewed, and the outcome. This quarter, we've integrated the ability to capture risk waivers into this risk assessment workflow. So when you're reviewing the vendor's risks, you not only have the option to request remediation, but also create waivers for any risks you're willing to accept. This includes capturing a justification for waiving the risk and who approved it. Integrating waivers into the assessment workflow is the final piece of the puzzle to create an end-to-end solution for conducting vendor assessments. If you haven't tried out this workflow, please give it a go. And if you need any help getting started, let us know. I want to mention one more feature we're launching today, a HIPAA security questionnaire. As industry-specific vendor assessment frameworks become more widespread, we recognize the importance of providing questionnaires that support these. If you're in the healthcare industry, you're probably familiar with HIPAA and will be happy to know that we've added a HIPAA-based questionnaire to our library that helps you determine whether your vendors are HIPAA compliant. These are just a few of the features we've added over the last quarter. For the full list, check out upguard.com/releases. I'll talk now about some of the features we're working on this quarter. The first one is a new way to manage your domains and IP addresses within UpGuard Breach Site called Asset Portfolios. Earlier this year, we added portfolios to vendor risk, which lets you organize your vendors into groups or portfolios and control who has access to each one. A common use of vendor portfolios is to give different teams within a company access only to the vendors they manage. This quarter, we're working on a similar feature for UpGuard Breach Site that will let you organize your domains and IP addresses into portfolios. You'll be able to choose how you divide your assets up and who has access to each portfolio. And as with vendor portfolios, you'll be able to report on each one separately. The next feature I want to tell you about is one we've been planning to build for a while: public risk waivers. As UpGuard Breach Site scans your company's attack surface, anything we detect that could cause a security incident gets reported to you as a risk, along with an explanation of why it's a problem and how to remediate it. While we encourage our customers to remediate as many risks as possible, we also provide the option of waiving risks where you believe they don't apply to you for some reason. For instance, you might have an open port to allow VPN access, but have tight security controls like two-factor authentication associated with it. In other words, you have compensating controls that reduce the risk. Creating a risk waiver lets you capture these compensating controls. It also removes the risk from your profile and adjusts your score accordingly. At the moment, the risk waivers you create in UpGuard Breach Site are only visible to you. If another organization looks at your profile through our vendor risk product, they can't see any of the information you captured in your risk waivers. The new public risk waivers feature will let you share your risk waivers with anyone who views your profile in vendor risk. They'll be able to see the justification you provided, and if they're satisfied, accept your waiver. We expect this to be a great way for our customers to provide more information about their security posture proactively. You'll be able to choose which waivers you make public, so of course, what you share will be up to you. One of the vendor risk features we're working on this quarter is called the Enhanced Vendor Profile. Possibly the most time-consuming aspect of assessing a vendor is collecting the evidence to base your assessment on. As many of you know, getting vendors to complete a security questionnaire can be slow going. We already offer ways to reduce the need to send questionnaires. For instance, any company, whether they're an UpGuard customer or not, can proactively share security information, including previously completed questionnaires, audit reports, and pen test results through our shared profile feature. This quarter, we're looking at what additional security information we can provide automatically, so when you assess a vendor, more of the information you need will be there already. We're working through some of the details, but want to be able to capture things like security policies, security contacts, links to security pages, and documentation. The final feature I want to mention is for vendors completing questionnaires within UpGuard, and it's called the Questionnaire Importer. Last quarter, we launched a Questionnaire autofill feature, which makes it quicker for vendors to respond to questionnaires by automatically suggesting answers based on their previous responses. This is helpful if they've already completed questionnaires within UpGuard, but doesn't let them leverage questionnaires they've answered outside the platform. So this quarter, we'll enable vendors to import any questionnaires they've previously completed into UpGuard. The Questionnaire autofill feature will be able to draw on these answers, reducing time and increasing efficiency. So that gives you a taste of a few of the features we're working on at the moment. You can talk to our customer success team to hear about our full product roadmap. And let me finish with a quick recap. Over the last quarter, we've added a bunch of great new features, and today I talked about 4 of these: known exploited vulnerability reporting, questionnaire changes view, risk assessment workflow enhancements, and a HIPAA questionnaire. And as always, we've got some exciting new features in the pipeline, including asset portfolios, public risk waivers, the enhanced vendor profile, and a questionnaire importer. Thanks for taking the time to watch, and please let us know if you have any questions.